Alright guys, Subscribe back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far. Not exactly sure when this is going to go live, but it's probably going to be a double upload. Wanted to discuss this accuracy clip that came out a couple of days ago now, talking about Dashi, talking about other pros that he feels are, lazy, don't put as much effort in as they should be given they're professional Call of Duty players, but he feels that some members of the community give them a free pass. Going to discuss this today. Intrigued to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new. So, of course, accuracy hot off this most recent victory, the New York Subliners at their own home series this past weekend. Accuracy talks about the new OpTic roster as well, with Hollow and Drazza onto that team instead of Dashi and Chino. So definitely a question that's come up. Of course, you guys making your draft buff teams for this weekend are probably thinking like, who do I choose, right? Is the OpTic team going to be good? How do I make my predictions work? And Accuracy says they're a lot better than they were before on the previous lineup, which is a pretty interesting statement, first of all. But then he follows it up with this discussion on Dashi and other professional players, not singling out Dashi by any means, as you can hear in this clip. But yeah, then he discusses that. Pretty interesting. Roll the clip.
Have I scrimmed OGLA since I picked up those AMs? Yes, I have, and they're actually 30 times the team they were before. Dashi has a talent, he just doesn't like the game. See, I hate that. I hate how some players get that cop-out. Like, I've seen Twitch chat saying that about other players. Like, man, he just doesn't like the game. That's why he doesn't grind and he's not good. What? You're a fucking professional Call of Duty player. It doesn't matter what game is in front of you. Whether you like it or not, you better grind it and get good at it. It's your fucking job.
So to clarify Accuracy's position here, he then comes out and says, want to make it clear this wasn't me coming at Brandon, so Dashi specifically. This was just responding to the excuse that fans give players that they like, which, pretty interesting statement to follow up with. Then he says this on the Reddit, when I wasn't good at any particular time period of a certain title, I never said it was because I didn't like the game, so I don't see how it's hypocritical. This is also not a personal attack on any player. This was a statement responding to people saying that it's okay for certain players to not be good at a title because they didn't like it, because that doesn't make sense. Furthermore, us winning this tournament or losing the tournament has zero effect on my opinion on this subject. So interesting clarification here, and I just thought we'd have a look at Dashi's stats so far this season. Really cool statistics website called game5.gg. Leave this link for you guys down below. You guys can check out all these clean graphics, most recent tournament results, like KDs for the season, all this kind of stuff. So thought this was pretty cool. Looking at Dashi's profile here, and I think that Accuracy's comments are really interesting, right, given that I do feel like this is a pretty common thing, and it doesn't matter, of course, to some degree. Like, we've talked with Scump in the past how when he tends to like a game and he's making content on it and he's enjoying playing public matches, that's the games that he tends to be best at because he puts the most time in, actually enjoys playing it, and, strives to get better, right? And when you're a guy like Scump who's done it all in Call of Duty in the latter half of your career, maybe there's not as much incentive to really grind the game day in, day out and be the player you were, a few years ago in Advanced Warfare Black Ops 3, for example. In Dashi's position, he doesn't necessarily have that luxury, right? Like, he hasn't won a world championship or anything. Like, he's won an event here or there. Well, okay, he won, I think the only event he won was Vegas last season on the OpTic gaming team. Like, he obviously had a big come up at that point, but, interesting situation, right? Like, if you're not in a position that you've done it all in Call of Duty, probably not as much room for maneuver to be lazy and slack off just because you don't like the game. And, obviously there's other players that you can talk about around this, but pretty interesting because there's plenty of players that always seem to put 100% into things, always, up there and around the top teams in the game, and certainly there's players that have been better at other titles and worse than other titles. Doesn't necessarily mean that they like grind that game particularly hard and don't grind another game particularly hard. And at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy a game as much, you're probably not going to be as good at it anyway, because it's part and parcel, right? Probably a bit of correlation, causation stuff going on. Intrigued to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Just to finish off the video, thought I'd go through this interesting conversation between Slacked and Paddy P. So Slacked says 5 out of 12 teams in the CDL have won this year. Will there be another before the end of the game? Aches then says it's an even crazier stat that 8 out of 12 teams have been in the grand finals. So Toronto haven't been in the grand finals. I think Seattle haven't. Los Angeles Guerrillas, of course, and the Paris Legion. None of those teams have been to the grand finals, but still pretty interesting the way this has worked. Of course, when you have 8 team events, it's going to be expected this kind of stuff happens. But when we had the whole champs discussion yesterday, there's definitely a mind towards right now, like how can we make sure these events seem like they're more legitimate, more reasonable in future seasons? Because it's a bit of a question, right, when we've got 8 8-team events, and then 8 of the 12 teams in the season are making grand finals. 5 of the 12 teams are winning. Like, 5 out of the 12 teams winning is not absolutely outrageous, right? Especially given the fact that you've got these 8-team events, and also you've got a lot of events throughout the season. But the 8 teams making the grand final, maybe, you know, maybe there's room for maneuver here to make these events more competitive. I'm sure a lot of people would like the fact if we were managed to get back to 12-team events. That would certainly be, I think, a step in the right direction for most people. But yeah, I'm not sure how logistically feasible that is. Interesting observation nonetheless. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.